What's up in War Eagle, everybody? It's your guy Ike Jones. We are here, Lobtown, live inside the Auburn Express, powered by the War Corps. Auburn versus Kentucky is going down in just over 30 minutes. We will be bringing you pregame last thoughts, letting you get your last thoughts out right here. Hopefully, everybody is having a good Saturday morning so far, ready for a great basketball game. Um, this is going to be a game that's going to be toughly contested, man. Like, there's no two ways about it. Auburn is going to have a tough contest today. This is a great offensive team in Kentucky that shoots really well inside their building. They've been playing defense better of late. Auburn's going to have to come and bring their A game in order to walk out of here with a win. Whether that's offensively or defensively, they're going to have to do a lot to make sure that they can defend what Kentucky wants to do and be able to put points up against this Kentucky team. Super athletic, tall team that has a ton of talent and a ton left to play for. Auburn hasn't won in this building. Of course, everybody has mentioned this. I've mentioned it since 1988. So Auburn's got some work to do to be able to conquer that streak. And hopefully today, as an Auburn fan, you are going to be able to see that happen. This is going to be a big game for sure in the SEC. Auburn 2 games away from clinching the SEC regular season with 3 games left in the season. So Auburn has an opportunity today to move one step closer to that goal of the regular season title. Again, hopefully everybody is having a good day today and is ready for some great basketball, because I certainly am. Get over here into you guys' comments here. Jerome T. Marshall says, Ike out in them Lexington streets. Indeed, I am here in Lexington, taking in the game live from the media section. Of course, I can't do a watch party in this game from the sidelines, but I'll have pregame analysis for you guys going up until about 5 minutes till the tip-off. Ben asks, is this my first time in Lexington? It is my second time in Rupp Arena. I've been to Lexington quite a few times in my life, but yeah. How did the Auburn shoot-around look? Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, they still have plenty of shooting around left to do. They're still out here going through some warm-up drills right now. So still a lot happening for them out here on the court. Of course, as we go through this in our pregame, we do projections. And let's take a look at the projections courtesy of our folks over at Underdog Fantasy. Projections for today's game for this Auburn team. When you look at, of course, Lamont Butler is back playing for them in his second game back from injury, so he is available for Kentucky. Miles Kelly projections today. It's been 11.5 for the last couple of games. They have him at 12.5 for this game. So Underdog is potentially expecting a little bit more from Miles in this game, maybe considering he got back on track from 3 in the last game. 5.5 rebounds. He's been on a rebounding tear of late, so I think 5.5 is a good number for him. I don't see any reason why. You can see, the averages here. He had 8 versus Georgia, 8 versus Arkansas, 8 versus Alabama, only 3 versus Ole Miss. But 5.5, a good number there for Miles Kelly to be able to get to. So he would need 6 if you're going to take him and put him on your entry card, and higher or lower on that. Chad Baker-Mazara also available here today. 12.5 points is the number for him. When you look at his output of recent, 22, 11, 15, 15, none versus Vandy. But, those last 4 games, he's been doing his thing. 22 versus Ole Miss. A big number for Chad to put up there today. 13 is all he would need to get to the over projection. A guy that Auburn's going to have to look out for is Kobe Bray. He has 2.5 as his number for threes made. So if he can make 3, he'll be there. I'm hoping, lower. Let's get lower right there. Big guy for them on the boards is going to be Amari Williams. He's the 7-footer there. His number on rebounds is 7.5, so he needs to get to 8. That feels like a good number for him with the number of shots that Kentucky is going to put up, and Auburn is like the number of shots that are going to go up in this game. Him getting to 8 rebounds unless he's in foul trouble feels like academic. Chaney Johnson, he's going to need a bounce back game. I think he's going to need some boards here. He had a good game, 13 points, 14-14 versus Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi State. But the rebounding number is really where I want to see him flourish today. He needs to get to that projection there, 5.5, so he needs to get to 6. I think that's a number that he can get to if he stays out of foul trouble. Tahad Pettiford in need of a bounce back game, 10.5 points. He hasn't been there recently. Let me look at his numbers the last few. 4 points, 2 points, 4 points. Bama 13. Again, on the road, Tahad's been showing up in these big games. So it feels like he primed for a Bama-like performance here with 13 points. I'd love to be able to see a combination of the Bama scoring and the Ole Miss assist to turnover. That would be wonderful. Can Tahad Pettiford get there, particularly in three-pointers made? Can he knock down 2 in this game? That's something you definitely want to look forward to. I must have missed Janai Broome because there's no way they left him off of the projections here. Here he is, Janai, 25 points. Wow. Look at his last few outputs there, 24, 31, 16, 19, 17. 25 feels a little high, but listen, you might need Janai to be able to do that. I would probably take lower on that projection if I were to do that one. But, hey, a 25-point game for Janai Broome is something I would welcome as an Auburn fan. But you guys definitely welcome to do what you have going on or what you feel for those projections there on Underdog Fantasy. Remember, you use code RAPPORT. You get up to $1,000 on your first deposit there when you use code RAPPORT when you sign up. So make sure you head over to UnderdogFantasy.com, use code RAPPORT. All right, let's get back over into this game and get your thoughts here. We are just about 30 minutes from the scheduled tip-off, Auburn versus Kentucky. Again, I will be here until about 5 minutes to the tip-off time right here from the sidelines, giving you all of the stuff I see here from Media Row here at the game. Brad Browning asked, I woke up not feeling as confident about this game as I did earlier this week. You are a true fan. As you get closer, the nerves start hitting and you're like, I don't know. I don't really go into a lot of games confident when you're playing a top 20 team and they're at home. There's definitely a path for Auburn to be able to get this win. And, you're hoping for the best as an Auburn fan. So we'll see what happens. Kenneth says we have to play with confidence and keep the sloppy play to a minimum. We must remember who we are and play like the best team in the country, and we can beat anyone. Kenneth giving the pregame speech. Remember who you are. Listen, I'm not mad at that. Listen, this team has not lacked for confidence in any game this season. They came out maybe a little overconfident in the game versus Florida and got off to a hot start, and validated that confidence. But they got to play like that for 40 minutes against teams like Florida, like Bama, like Kentucky that shoot the ball well from 3 if they can get on a roll. You've got to play a 40-minute basketball game to keep those teams under thumb because it's only going to take a 2-minute stretch of them going crazy from 3 to be back into a game even with a 20-point lead. So there's not a lead that is safe against a team that shoots as well from 3 as Kentucky. So you've got to be able to play consistently for 40 minutes in order to be able to get that. Shut the water off, keep it off. Don't let them pay the bill. Arena's starting to fill in a little bit. Fans starting to get settled in here. A lot of empty seats still left, but I expect as the game begins, that is going to rapidly change. Again, we are 28 minutes from the scheduled tip-off here from the arena clock. Today on ABC is where you will be able to watch the game in case you didn't know. You won't get an Ike Jones commentary if your green name game for me today because I'm not allowed to be live during the game. But it should be a good one. I don't know why I can't go live during the game, but that's just their rules. You know what I mean? And I'm not here trying to get my media credentials revoked. All right, let's see if we've got any new information. Does Auburn stay number 1 if they lose a close one? Very good question, Ben. Who's the number 2 team right now? Who's number 2 right now?
dusty one lane, busy city streets, through the mountains of eastern Kentucky, to the rolling hills of western Kentucky, along the banks of the Opelika, to the shores of Lake Cumberland.
Duke. If it's Duke, then probably not. Probably not. How many losses does Duke have on the season right now? 3? 4? Yeah, I think if Auburn loses, Duke takes over the number 1 spot just from a media standpoint. Yeah, even in a close game, I don't know. Duke has 3 losses, and that means Auburn will have 3 losses as well if they lose this game. Yeah, Duke will be number 1 if Auburn loses, because Duke has won the head-to-head. There are already people who say they think that Duke is the best team in the country, even though Auburn has the number 1 ranking. So, yeah, Duke is number 1 even in a close loss here, unless Duke loses as well. So, yeah. Agreed. Schedule doesn't justify it, but it is what it is. It will happen. Mark my words. That's a terrible mix. As you can hear the roar from the crowd, the Kentucky team was coming back out for a warm-up. They get the benefit of the doubt. Listen, man, it's Duke. They're a good team, man. Despite them playing in a weak conference, they are a good team. They can't help the ACC sucks this year. But yeah. So Lamont Butler is out here with a shoulder harness on, warming up for Kentucky. So that left shoulder for him is still giving him enough pain that he is playing with a shoulder harness on. So it'll be interesting to see if that impacts him at all in this game. He looked okay in the last game, and he's a right-handed guy, so it's not as if it's his shooting arm. I think we see Ja'Kai PT, who played last game. We'll see. I don't know. This is the kind of game where you could use his athleticism. What's that say about sports media, that they are willing to vote teams that have obviously accomplished less? It says that they value what they consider to be the eye test very highly, and pedigree matters and all of the things, right? I mean, let's be clear. Auburn fans would feel the same way in football if it was between Auburn football and Kentucky football and they had the same record. They'd be like, Kentucky's just not a better team, even if Auburn played a worse schedule. It's just that you get the benefit of the doubt when you've got the pedigree. And Duke has the pedigree. And again, they are a good team, and they did beat Auburn head-to-head. So I understand. But it also says that media has inherent bias. Something that I talk about a lot with referees. They're humans with bias. Why are we talking about losses? We got this man curses over today. I feel you, Riley. No doubt they're good. We just have a bigger hill to climb because they're always going to get a nod in the head-to-head. Agreed. Who do you think Denver will guard? It's a good question. I think it starts with Lamont Butler's ability to get them into their offense. So, I think you put Denver on him and make it difficult for him to get their offense going. And I think Miles Kelly is a good enough defender that you can put him over on, one of their other guys. Yeah, but see, Oklahoma's traditionally a bigger program, right? I'm talking about against teams that aren't traditionally good, right? Oklahoma's been traditionally good. two big things from this game. I think the boards and the foes Tahad get back into normal, and does Tahad get back into the normal rhythm. You're right. Rebounding is going to be essential in this game. Auburn is the better rebounding team on the, statistically. And Tahad has been good in big moments. So both of those things do point in Auburn's favor. We're looking in conference play. Let's look on the road versus at home for Kentucky. See, Kentucky's home numbers in terms of rebounding, they are offensive rebounding. They are 15th in the conference out of 16 teams. They are 8th in the conference on the defensive glass, or keeping teams off of the offensive glass. Auburn on the road this season is 3rd in offensive rebounding on the road and 13th in defensive rebounding. So, it's going to be interesting to see how well Auburn's able to keep Kentucky off of the glass, a team who is not great on the offensive glass, but Auburn's not great at defending against offensive rebounding. Auburn taking the court right now to boos from the crowd. Soulja Boy is the Lou Bega of rap. That's an interesting phrase there. Yo, how did this song Tweaker get so big so fast, bro? They had to spend some bread on this. And how did Jello make such a southern and country sounding joint? And he grew up in the Chino Hills, California. I don't understand it. Anyway, we are 19 minutes from the scheduled tip-off here inside of Rupp Arena. You got Ike Jones sideline here in the media row for Auburn versus Kentucky. Both teams out warming up right now. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but Ja'Kai Howard can really jump out the chute. Like him just in warm-ups dunking, bro, is crazy. You know who's like surprisingly athletic? Turtle. I hope Turtle knows how much the fan base loves him. Dylan Cartwell out here working on free throws. Like seriously, Ja'Kai Howard has to move his head out of the way when he dunks the ball so he doesn't hit his head on. Turtle's rendition of "It's Great to Be an Auburn Tiger" becomes something that lives on in social media lore for Auburn for years. The way "It's About That Time" from Malik Dunbar has. That's the question I have for you all. 79 of you all in here. Hopefully I have 79 shares out there on social media. Hopefully I have 79 likes on this video right now. I appreciate those of you who are checking in with me. We are 7 minutes from the scheduled tip-off here. Auburn versus Kentucky live from Rupp Arena. What's your prediction today, offense and defensive player of the game? I think in order for Auburn to get the win today, the defense needs to be led by two guys in particular, Dylan Cardwell and Denver Jones. I think those two guys need to have a really good defensive game because Dylan's going to get switched out on guards a lot the way that Kentucky plays offense. And he's going to be going up against Amari Williams, who is their big threat on the interior, both offensively and on the glass. And then Lamont Butler is the head of the snake for their offense and getting them in their stuff. So Denver Jones needs to be able to shut his water off. Offensively, I'm actually hoping that the MVP today is going to go to Sahad Pettiford. That's a hope. But I think from a matchup standpoint, I like what Chad Baker-Mazara can do versus this team because of his ability to score at all three levels and potentially get to the free throw line quite a bit. Kentucky is a team that is known to foul a little bit, right? And so Chad is a guy who can draw fouls, get to the line. Give me Chad Baker-Mazara as the offensive MVP. Assuming no watch party since you're at the game. Yep, can't do it. Rules state I cannot be live during the game. Even if I were to go live during the game and keep my video off, I would have to not react for real. I'd have to be right here at this tone. And that is difficult for me to do while talking to y'all. So, can't do it. The only way I could do that would be to go and watch the game from the media workroom and not here on video. Nah, those guys are bums. They're not going to step in. I'm the only one that loves you guys that much. Don't you ever forget it either. Ike Jones is the one that loves you guys the most. You can tell him I said it. Yeah, that'd be a surprise for sure. We will watch party. A lot of bricks going up out here on this three-point shooting warm-up for Auburn. Yeah. You can tell JP Pegues ain't playing today. Him and Ja'Kai Howard out here warming up from the logo. Like, man, I might as well not even put up no real shots, bro. 13 minutes from the scheduled tip-off here inside of Rupp Arena. Appreciate everybody who is joining me live here. Kentucky exiting the floor for the final time before we do final layup lines and such. Auburn still out here shooting around. All right, is it time for half-court shots? It is. First up, Ja'Kai Howard. Ooh, back rim. Chad. Ooh. Ooh. Make from JP. Was that JP Pegues that just made that? Which team looks more hyped up right now? Well, Kentucky's not on the floor, and they look like they're just kind of going through business as usual. We're about to do the national anthem, so hold, please.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed. And the rockets red flare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, guys.
Who's in the house tonight?
9 minutes from the scheduled tip-off.
Light up our house during today's starting lineups. And the pregame lock is 0. Open your UK
Auburn, as usual, stayed out there for the national anthem before going back to the locker room. They're exiting the floor right now for the last time before we get this thing started. I don't think the tip-off will start in 9 minutes. I think that they're going to do like all of their final pregame, blah, 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 at 9 minutes. But it's 9 minutes on the arena clock here. You know, this is an ABC game, so I don't know what all they got scheduled up here for ABC. But 8 minutes and 50 seconds on this arena clock here. Going through pregame video stuff here. I guess Kentucky's about to come back out on the court. Listen, I think turnovers are going to play a big part in this game for Auburn. Looking for I'd love to see Auburn have a +6 differential in this game. Kentucky's not a team that turns teams over really, and they are prone to turn the ball over a little bit. Again, I think if Denver Jones can affect Lamont Butler, then it'll make their offense a little bit more stagnant, and can force a couple of late shot clock situations where they're putting up air balls at the end of the clock. And the foul situation, of course, is going to be big. Did Mike make the trip? Nope, just me. Is Rupp a cool gym or is it dated these days? No, it looks like an NBA arena. Basketball is king around here. They're not going to let that dip into obscurity. They have a montage playing of like all the moments from Kentucky basketball. It's just a storied program for sure. Black Jesus and Ben on the same page. Double-digit win predictions. Spicy, you are not alone. I am there with you. All right. Again, about 5 minutes and 50 seconds from the arena clock counting down here, which means that they're going to do some sort of 5-minute pregame situation. That's quite a phrase. These two very interesting phrases that you've turned today. All right, guys. Well, I am about to sign off of here. Appreciate you guys coming in here for the pregame. You are about 10 minutes probably from the TV tip. We are 5 minutes from the arena clock counting down here. As promised, I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you like the video before you get out of here. Subscribe to the channel. Share the content with somebody. Post-game today will be held by Mike G. So you guys check in with him on the post-game after this is all said and done. And I am out of here until I can get back and talk to y'all the next time. Until then, as always, War Eagle.